Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. If you're watching this, you already know who I am. I'm Kevin. I've been called many things. Some are not good for mixed company. I got to thinking one time, my grandkids are growing up, my kids are growing up, and I tell my kids, stories, and I've told them so many stories over the years that sometimes they forget them. And I got to thinking, I want them to remember me years from now when I'm past and gone. I want to remember the good times. I want them to understand the bad times. I want them to understand why I did what I did. And for the better part, I think my kids do. They really do. But I want them to remember stories. Now, I started this YouTube channel years and years ago, recording videos of motorcycle safety classes I taught and to where the students could access them, and I posted them on YouTube. And then I would share them on Facebook, because at the time that was the only way I knew how to do it. And then I got to where I could share the videos on Facebook. The old man got a little smarter about Facebook. But I see my grandkids, they love watching videos, especially on YouTube. So I thought I'd tell stories on YouTube. And they all have something to do with me. This isn't to pump my ego or anything. This is just to tell a story. So as any story goes, it all starts at once upon a time. Once upon a time, in a small area just outside of Dorado, Arkansas, there lived a chubby little kid. Everybody in my area had four-wheelers and three-wheelers and dirt bikes and motorcycles, and I just had to have one. Now, we could go back a little bit further and talk about me sitting and laying in the floor in my grandparents' house in Minden, Louisiana, and watching a video of Evel Knievel was about to jump a fountain out in front of the Bellagio. I mean, if you know anything about Evel Knievel, he didn't make it. He survived. He wrecked spectacularly and broke about 20 or 30 bones, somewhere around there. Well, my dumb little butt rolls over, and the first thing I say, I want a motorcycle. The look on my mother's face was pure horror. I guarantee I set myself back a good 5-8 years getting a dirt bike. Well, anyway, my parents got my brother a three-wheeler and got me the dirt bike I wanted. Anyway, that's one of them fat cats you kids probably remember me having. He's clawing at the door. Anyway, lo and behold, though, at ripe old age of 12, I didn't know what a stick shift was, what a clutch was, much less what a brake was. Had no clue how to drive. And my daddy, in his infinite wisdom and his wonderful knowledge of how to teach, says, well, you squeeze this to shift that. You shift that to go faster. One down and the rest are up. Made no sense to me. You stomp on that thing down there to stop slowly. You grab that up there. Notice he said grab. You grab that up there and you'll stop real quick. Well, was that not prophetic or what? Well, a couple hours later, I finally figured out how to start the motorcycle and be able to go anywhere in first gear. Took me about 2 hours to get to first gear. Did not realize, you have to ease the clutch out. You have to roll on that throttle. I popped a few wheelies. Choked them out, fell off the back like a bucking bronco. But after about 2 hours, I got that motorcycle going. And I was able to get it into second gear. Second gear. Man, I thought I was great. We had 4.5 acres. And I'm going along. I got it in second gear. My dad screams, shift it to third. Shift it to third. So I did. I shifted to third gear. Then I realized I'm coming near the end of the house. My dad, in all his infinite wisdom, he taught me how to start it. It was a kickstart too. Just by dislocating my hips, kickstarting that damn thing. I learned how to shift, start, rough start, and I knew something about braking. I'd done that a couple of times. But that sumbitch had never taught me how to make a turn on a motorcycle. And right in front of me was the biggest pine tree in all of South Arkansas. Now, I'm a big fella. I'm 6 foot tall, 300 pounds. And me and 2 or 3 other fellas my size could not reach around this damn pine tree. It was the biggest pine tree in all the South. And I was headed straight for it. And I panicked. And all I remember is my dad said, stomp on that if you want to stop. Grab that if you want to stop real fast. So I reached up and all my 13-year-old power and grabbed that front brake. Now, any of you know anything about motorcycles, 70% of the stopping power is in the front brake. Now, did I hit that tree? Not on a motorcycle, no. But did my did my motorcycle go up on the front tire? Back wheel up in the air, almost level with my head? Oh, absolutely. And did the boys down there, they slammed up into that gas tank with the ferocity of somebody doing about 20, 30 miles an hour and coming to a sudden, drastic stop. See, nobody ever explains to you when you wreck. It ain't the actual collision that hurts. It's that sudden stop. And all that sudden stop and all that momentum, all the bike's momentum, all my momentum, and there's a lot of momentum here, it all went to one area. I sung high tenor with the Vienna Boys Choir for the next couple of months. That's about how long it took for the boys to come down and say, Howdy, we still here. We don't like you no more, but we still here. After that day, I never touched the front brake again until about 30-something years later when I became a Motorcycle Safety Foundation instructor. And I was taught how to properly squeeze that front brake and press on that rear brake. Now, I promise you, when I sold that first motorcycle, that front brake was just about brand damn new. Them pads were perfect. Them rotors were perfect, but that back one, there was no brake pad left on that son of a bitch. I probably replaced them brake pads 3 times and never once replaced that front pad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, peace, love, and nacho grease. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.